am here with Knox today, and I just wanted to discuss charging the clicker. All that means is teaching the dog what the clicker means. So the clicker implies that the food is coming. That's what makes a clicker valuable. So it really helps us with our timing. So if you're trying to have really good timing in dog training, which is super important, you can use a marker, which is a clicker or a verbal cue. That marker will show the dog, yes, that's exactly what I want right there, and then the food's coming. That way there's no delay between the time that your dog does the right thing and when they get the food. So in order to teach them that the clicker means the treat is coming, we simply do that. So I'll show you what that looks like with Knox. All you need is a clicker and some food, and all I'm gonna do right now is click, then give him the treat. So click, treat. Click, treat. The only thing I don't want to do right now is click when he is doing something I don't want him to do, such as biting me or jumping on me. There is no expectation of what he does right now except for not anything naughty like that. So no click and treat for that. And then as soon as he's got his feet planted back on the ground, click and treat. And I don't mind if he sits or stands, click, then treat. All I'm doing right now is showing him that sound means food is coming. That way when I want to use the clicker later, he knows, oh, if I do this behavior right now, I get a treat. And that's how we improve our timing in dog training. Good boy. So once you've charged your clicker and your puppy or dog knows exactly what that means, it means you're doing the right thing right now and that the treat is coming. You can start moving on to teaching them things. So today we're going to start teaching recall. I always start teaching recall in a very low distraction environment. So nothing going on, we're inside, nothing to distract him so he can focus on me. But quickly I will start adding more distractions. So we might add a few dogs inside, or we might go outside by himself. And as he does well with increasing distractions, you can continue to add more, but you always want to start really low and work your way up. The reason why you want to keep adding distractions is because you'll find that dogs will start to anticipate you recalling them, and then they're not going to leave you in order to be recalled. So if we go outside, he's going to want to go off and sniff things, then that gives me an opportunity to recall him. You just don't want to start too high too soon because he's not going to understand the concept. So we're teaching it inside with low distractions. All I'm going to do today is click when he heads in my direction. So I want him to know when you head towards me, that means a treat is coming, then he's going to continue to come all the way to me to get that treat. So this is going to turn into here, which I'm going to overlay that word once he understands the concept. But here will always mean come all the way to me, not just look at me or come in my general direction, but we're not going to overlay that word until he starts to understand the concept. So I'm going to click when he heads towards me, give him the treat once he gets to me. So I'll show you what that looks like. If he's not distracted at all, so he's ready to work for his food, I'm just going to set him up to be away from me a little bit. He's going to want to come back towards me because he knows I have food. So I click as soon as he heads towards my direction and give him the treat when he gets there. I'm going to try to continue to reward him in the same position, which is going to be at my left side, because what I want to happen is that eventually I want him to recall into a heel position. Oh, that was a little soon. I thought he was going to head towards me. I want him to recall in a heel position, which will be on my left side. So I'm going to reward him where I want him to end up. Good. And what this will quickly turn into is telling him here. Good. And if I can time my here to be right when he starts to head my direction, then I'm going to click and treat. Here. Good. Here. And so I'm not going to do much of this. I might move on to rewarding things in between. Here. Good. So I can use him going into his crate as an opportunity So now that he's starting to understand that concept, I'm starting to overlay the verbal cue, which we've done this just a couple times already. He's ready for more distractions. So what I'll do next is take him outside by himself and try it out there. So now that we have Knox recalling inside, we're gonna work on some recalls outside with a little bit of distraction. He's gonna pick up quickly on what we're doing and knowing that I have food. So the best thing to do is do a little bit of this every opportunity you get. So rather than making one big recall session outside and doing it whenever you have him outside potty and he gets far enough away from you to recall. So we'll see if we can get him out and away from us with these distractions around, and we'll work on some recall. Come on, guys. Good. And again, just like inside, as soon as he makes the effort to come to me, click and reward when he gets to me. Okay, let's go. Come on. Knox, here. Good. And reward when he's with me. Good job. Knox, here. Good. Good girl. All right, one more time and we'll leave it at that for this session. All right, let's go. Knox, here. Good. Good boy. Right here. So that's how I start to introduce distractions, and since he's doing well in this environment, we can continue to add distractions. If he were struggling with the other dogs and super distracted by them, we'd put him on a leash and continue working here. If you're struggling with recall, like we did with Knox in the last clip where he's out in the yard and there's minor distractions, the first thing you want to do is add a check cord. That way you can prevent him from totally leaving you, and add a little leash pressure if you need to get his attention. When you're recalling dogs, and this goes for any dog, any age, always, it's always best to move away from them to draw them towards you. So if you're trying to get your puppy to come towards you, the last thing you want to do is walk towards them. For one, that creates a really fun game of chase, and for two, your spatial pressure will often move them away from you, which is the opposite of what we're looking for. So when you're working on recall, make sure you're being inviting, you're backing up, you're getting low, you're doing things that makes your puppy or your dog want to come towards you. So if you're struggling, add your check cord, and I'm going to throw some kibble here on the ground to be a distraction. So what I would do, he already knows this game so well, I'm going to get him distracted by this kibble again. Come here, buddy. Hey. Knox, here. Good. So I would just use a teeny bit of leash pressure, and then again, click and mark as soon as he heads in your direction. We'll see if we can get him distracted by some kibble again. Choo, choo, choo. Hey, hey, hey. Knox, here. Good. So you can see I just used a little bit of leash pressure there. As soon as he headed in my direction, I release the leash pressure, I click, and I treat. Same concept, you just have this safety net with the check cord. Knox, here. Good. With the check cord, if they're being a little bit distracted and if you're struggling with recall. So before moving on to different environments, make sure you've got a really solid recall in lower distraction areas. In these next clips, I'm going to have Knox off leash at the farm working on recall. This is private property, very safe. I'm very familiar with the area, and I know there won't be any other dogs around. So if you're working on recall, make sure you keep your puppy on a check cord unless you're on your own property. You never want to run into unfamiliar dogs with your puppy off leash. So be sure to use a check cord if you're practicing recall in different environments. If you have any questions about teaching your puppy recall, feel free to reach out to me or comment on this video. I hope that helps. Knox, here. Good job, buddy. Oh, you missed it. Good boy. Okay, free. Let's go.
Good. Good boy. Okay, free.